Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this video, I'm going to discuss a very important feature of UBot Studio that you should pay close attention to, since you will be using it a lot. As you may recall in the previous video, we used a click command and accepted any attributes that the UBot Studio element selector provided automatically for us. This approach works for easy to automate websites. But what if the elements attribute is not static on a given website? Instead, it may be dynamic and keeps changing every time. So what is going to happen? If the elements attribute has changed, the script won't be able to click the element next time you are accessing this page. So we discovered that every time we repress or open google.com, the element selector expressions can affect our script. As a result, we will need to figure out how to locate an element selector expression that doesn't change. We always need to find a very specific identifier for an element, one that does not change, so that our bot can stay and keep working for long with the given website. So how to do that? Let us delete this click command and start using a new one. And now we'll go ahead and select where we want to click. If we want to click on this button, it will give us an element selector expression automatically. But we don't want to go with that. So what we have to do is selecting the gear icon here. Click it to open the advanced element selector. We are in the HTML of this button already, where we can view its code. Inside this HTML code, we need to find an attribute that never changes. One that is very specific to this element only. So what do we do? In our case here, it is either the class attribute or this text. Just keep in mind that websites may modify their code from time to time as part of an update or even to make it harder for bots. Typically, the class attributes and IDs don't change that frequently. So you can use class attributes safely. In our case here, we can use the class or the value attribute of the element. How to select that? We can see this attribute and there is a drop-down field here. If we click the drop-down field, we can see all the attributes which are associated with this button. We see there is a value attribute and we also see a class attribute as well. This is the class attribute, but in our example we will go with the value attribute, which is Google search. So here we could either use a class attribute or a value attribute to identify this element. Let's use the value attribute and see what happens. As you can see, it does click. Being able to use the advanced element selector is very important, because choosing a very specific selector ensures that your script stays functional for the longest time possible. If a specific attribute you selected does not work well, you have to use a better suited attribute to identify the element with. You should practice using the advanced element selector simply because the expressions that UBot Studio selects for you automatically are not always the best and most reliable to go with. This is why it is very important for you to know and being able to modify selectors by yourself as needed. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. See you in the next video.